Welcome, listeners, to the podcast Eberron Adventures, a D&D podcast set in the world of Eberron. Let's listen as we hear the adventures of 6 unique personalities taking on the challenges that they face both in and out of their schooling at Windshire University. Skogar, a half-orc bounty hunter with no concept of personal space. Lukar, a halfling wild magic sorcerer whose best friend is a voice in his head. Lissa, a mage-breeding wizard with zero interest in melee combat, and her familiar Bigwing. Jack, a rogue, a fighter, a bard? Well, maybe none of those things, unless he declares a major. Velma, a rogue with a penchant for exposing the truth. And Azuri, a Kalashtar cleric with a big heart and even bigger issues with socializing. Let's follow them on their adventures throughout Eberron on their journey to become heroes. But lore and rules lawyers beware. We pick the rules that work for us and build our own lore in a freestyle fashion. So let's jump right back into the action with another episode of Eberron Adventures. So welcome back to another action-packed exciting session of Windshire University by the ever-flexible Wednesday night crew. I gave you guys a question. The question is from the campfire deck, the ultimate RPG campfire deck, because I didn't feel like thinking. And if the plays keep going, man, I mean, we've got maybe 36 more months, I think, based on my math, about where we'll be maybe enough people that are listening where maybe could get a sponsorship for this deck when it won't even be applicable anymore in 3 years. But you know, there's always hoping. So the question is, and we're going to start with somebody and then they're going to pick the next person. We'll play it that way. So Skogar, what advice or warning would you give a younger version of yourself? And then after you answer that, I would like you to determine who you would like to hear answer that question. What advice or warning would you give a younger version of yourself?
So Skogar kind of reflects on recent events in his life, and as he's finding himself as a young man, he's kind of embarrassed about maybe how he acted with his father recently. And he thinks to himself that if he told a younger self, because his younger self never trusted his dad because his dad never wanted him to trust him. But if he was a little wiser about that, maybe he could have connected with his dad, and maybe through trust he could have, or maybe through bringing himself a little closer to him, he maybe could have trusted him, even though they always had respect for each other. So he would probably just say to open up, and when he sees beans, kick him twice as hard in the nuts. Because beans
Excellent.
Came back.
Yes, exactly.
Put him down.
So
I guess I wasn't talking out loud, but so he just says, Lissa, you've gone through a lot recently, and I'm not talking to boys. And
there we go.
There you are.
Sound reversed. You sound better, Skogar.
sorry.
Something caught in your throat. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little choked up right now. But, because I was thinking to myself about how, I learn a lot now that hopefully I apply in the future, but it doesn't mean nothing if I'm not learning and applying it to the past, as well. And,
I understand.
You've been through a lot of hard times, recently. Sorry, but how does that make you feel about where you were and where you are now?
No, I totally agree. You get that test and you look it over and you're like, oh, I should have remembered to add the 4 instead of subtract it. I agree completely. I think one thing that's really bothered me is that I really should have blown my nose before I did my first mage breeding, because I remember that moment and I was like, I gotta add the pinch of pixie dust or whatever, and then and I sneezed, and I think I added too much, and that's probably why she went crazy. You know, those pixies, they're just, you get too much of them and you go off the
Yeah.
walls, bonkers.
But you hit the wall?
No, the cat did, but
Oh, I thought you were, seeing how far your snot could go and thought you actually made it all the way to the wall. Okay.
no. I wasn't concerned about the snot. I was worried about the cat.
Oh, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
should have been concerned about the snot. I should have
Yeah.
blown my nose. I was
Well, I can
sniffling.
show you some techniques later that just clear everything. So, yeah, I could help with that.
Excellent. Nice. What about you, Jack? Any advice you'd give yourself?
Oh man, stick with the blaze ball. No, I don't know. I look at all, like Family Week just happened, and I know it's very sensitive for you, Lissa and Skogar, but like there's also something nice about it that you guys did have your family to have your back, at least some of your family there, and you had that. Whereas like I look and I see that I mean, except for grandma whoever over here, she I didn't really have family coming in, and I don't know, I guess it's so cliche, it's so dumb because like it's something we've all heard before, and we've all like it's advice. I think that's sometimes the best advice is this, that advice that you've heard before but you don't actually do it. So I guess my advice would be to young Jack is you know don't poop where you eat, and what I mean is like any type of like skills or things you do them away from home, because that might cause issues, I guess. Like ostracized from the clan or whatever happens. Like if you get caught doing it, I guess I would say like do it somewhere else, young Jack. Stay away from home. All that stuff you do, you know, you still have a home now, I guess is what I'd say. All right, so yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, and I mean, I don't know if like Luke, or if one of your ideas is maybe learn Fireball first, but maybe you got a different idea.
Well,
Luke,
it's funny you say that because my mom was really overprotective of me. And so one of the best pieces of advice she gave to me was like, be aware of your surroundings, which I thought was great, right? Because like you have to know what's going on so no one tries to kidnap you or take you away or whatever happens to kids or halflings when they're young. I guess my understanding is most of them got stolen from what my mom said. But I think just as important as being aware of your surroundings is being aware of your friends' surroundings and where your friends are. As I look at Velma, like it's really important that I need to know like where my friends are at all times, so nothing happens to them by accident. So I think that's really the best piece of advice I could take going forward. Right, Velma? Right, Velma? I need to be aware of where you are at all times before I do anything.
That's a start. I need to be more stealthy though. So it kind of cancels out. Well, as to what I would have told my younger self, I mean, it would have been YOLO, but I don't know anymore. I seem to have this existential crisis every week. So I talked to Grandpa to see if I could get his advice, and he said, well, YOLO is a pretty good start, girlie, but you tend to find that the quest for meaning and whether you lived a good life, it adds up over time. So you don't necessarily want to go whole hog and die young. And on that, I made this modified beer hat. It says it's filled with 2 health potions, and it says, in case of emergency, squeeze. So I thought that might help you out. And, well, I'm never going to wear that. So, Skogar, do you want this?
So you made it, or your grandfather did?
Grandpa, the gnome.
Yeah.
Grandpa Fizzle
I mean-
Spark, the leader of the facilities team at Windshire University that Velma has somehow not only created but befriended. It's pretty fit. It's going to be some fantastic backstory soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's that's pretty awesome. I mean, like I like how you shape the health potions like two red horns. That's pretty cool. It looks pretty rocking.
It's
don't know if it'll fit my
Zuri. I
head.
may need to speak with you later, but what would your advice be to your younger self?
Advice to my younger self it's sort of like the advice I always say now. It's the same thing I'd say to myself back then. It's stay home. It turns out there's really only bad things that happen when you go away from home. You run away from home, and a cleric has to save you from a bunch of evil, dreaming, dark people. You go out in the woods with your professor, and you end up killing your friends. And yeah, it's better to just stay home. So my advice to him: Windshire is okay. Windshire University is okay, but really, I would tell myself the same thing I keep telling you guys all the time here. Just stay home. Stay home.
Man, great, good stuff. That's wonderful. That was a great campfire talk. So, we can place it wherever we want to in the timeline where it's pertinent. I'm envisioning a little bit in the future, maybe, or something. Definitely not right now, because right now, all of you just got out of a pretty significant battle. So we're going to do a quick status check, and then we're going to jump back into the action and excitement. So, everybody's got a little bit of damages, some more than others. Velma was brought to death, was taken to death, and then brought back to quote unquote life, and is sitting or standing with 1 hit point. This we know as legit because that happened. And then others have Big Wing was healed because he was not killed. Now, I would imagine, in hindsight, thinking about this, because of the fact that it's a familiar, like, I feel like creatures get treated differently than characters, right? Characters get death saves and stuff, and I don't know that creatures necessarily do. But I would say, for the sake of the story, in maintaining, I think we could say, at least for Big Wing, for the time being, for your specific familiar, maybe we call it either that it does get death saves, or it just, if it's out and it gets its max hit points negative, it just kind of dies. I don't know. Figure it out. For now, it's a free pass on your familiar.
What about
Melissa couldn't take any more heartbreak.
with an actual
Right.
familiar though? Like, it disappears, and then you
can
call it back. So
back.
maybe it goes back to its mage breeder ball.
Yeah, there you go.
But see, Big Wing didn't have one though. Big Wing didn't have one.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The
What are you guys working
The
on?
basilisk is
has
in
one.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have
I don't
an
wanna,
extra one.
I
don't
do.
wanna,
which I
ruin
thought
you guys
Jack
are.
stole because of the goat.
No,
but
I actually like that. I like that idea. So
Wait, what did I
moving
steal?
I'm kidding.
moving. That's what he does. Moving forward.
I just told you my
advice.
advice is don't poop where you eat.
So moving forward, so you have 2 mage breeder spheres, and one of them is for your basilisk, but you have one that is devoted to Big Wing,
Okay.
and that's
that
where Big
sounds
Wing.
good.
That's where Big Wing goes if he goes below 0,
Perfect.
like a familiar.
Yep.
Does that work? Okay.
No, that's perfect.
All right. But so then, if that happens, though, then you would need to take an action to bring him back out to do
Right.
stuff with him as
Right.
you've been doing. Okay, good, done, fair. Skogar is also not in great shape, if I recall. He's got just maybe a handful of hit points at best left, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because you
He-
jumped up with 1 hit point
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
then did a bunch of badass stuff, and then everything got finished off. And Lucar
Remember doing
is
stuff. I wouldn't call it badass.
Jack. It was badass by the end.
Yeah.
Jack, I think you're have somewhat decent with hit points. I know you're not like super close to death, and you.
Yeah, I got a little singed, but otherwise I'm good.
But from a physical health standpoint, you're showing signs of not feeling well. Lissa, you're in the same boat, actually.
Correct. Yep. Not feeling well.
Yes. And then Zuri is, I think, okay, pretty much, generally. Ish.
Yeah, he had popped up his dusk, whatever it was, channel divinity. So, and everyone who was around him during that should have at least 5 temporary hit points.
Yep.
Nice.
And Lucar is just an insane murderer. So, I mean, that pretty much covers us, I think.
Also not in great shape, and I have no spell slot.
Gotcha. Okay. All updates considered. This spiritual weapon right here, Jonathan, or Zuri, this go bye-bye?
Yeah, it only lasts a minute, I think.
Okay, let's say goodbye to you.
It's either 1 or 10.
What is it? What was that Beatles song? Maxwell's something hammer, whatever.
Silverhammer.
Thank you. I knew someone would know it. Okay. So I think at this point, we should get back into it and come back to immediately where we left off. So, Seamus is down, believed to be dead. Gorvin is dead. The battle is done. And how are you guys interacting with each other in this moment?
I am saying over and over again to Velma, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were there. I'm sorry.
I forgot about that.
There's a lot of other dead people that you can apologize to. I think we ought to get our story straight, such as I was unconscious through most of this. And when I was conscious, we were all like trying to fight the wolves. So as far as I know, everything went fine. I think your best bet, Lucar, is to remind the faculty at the Windshire that they should have gone over area of effects and how to mitigate damage against team members, and just pray that wasn't on the syllabus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I haven't been getting as many sorcery classes as I should have.
I mean, it's their fault, right? You should have been taught this like early on. If it's going to come up.
And I'm not sure why our teachers are taking us on field trips where we're almost getting killed on a regular basis. Like, my parents are paying a decent amount of tuition, and this is not what they're expecting, I'm sure.
Well, this was like elementary school for me, though. You know, they'd be like, "Hey, let's go fight a wolf."
See, there you go.
Yeah, like our biggest.
That's why I chose this college, to be honest.
Our biggest issue at home was like when Mrs. McComb came in and complained that we didn't have like the right jars of olives on the shelves, and then she'd throw a fit, and like we had to like shunt her out of the thing before she got too upset. Like that was the biggest thing I had to deal with, not wolves.
Or blowing people up.
Yeah, right. It was more of a like, just come back next week. We've got the olives then, you know?
Zuri's going to go cast Cure Wounds on Skogar here.
Yeah, I'll check the Mr. Guardian of the Forest and Seamus. I'll go from one to the other to see just how dead our dead teachers and friends are.
Okay. So
13 points of healing.
Thanks, bud.
So Jack, you go up to Seamus first, just because, I mean, you're gonna likely to check on the teacher that brought you in here before you check on
I know
stranger that he
Seamus,
said to go rescue. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you check on Seamus, and he is like you feel that there's like you can feel shallow breathing, very shallow, very sparse as you touch his chest.
I would love to, I don't know, Do I have? I don't know if I even have any potions of healing. I would love to try to stabilize him, but I guess he's kind of stabilized. I don't know.
While you're checking him out, Azuri is behind you healing Skogar.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. But I kind of want to be the hero here, so
so as you're
That's
so
a
as you're
fireball.
Nice.
Jack, as you're looking, like kind of, checking them out, looking around, um, you hear some rustling coming from the trees behind where Seamus is, and um, and you recognize that the harpies that you met earlier have come have come back to this area of the forest, and um, the one of them, Elowin, who is
you mean dryads, not harpies?
Mhm.
did I say harpies?
You said harpies, so I got like,
Sorry.
what?
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Dryads. Sorry. My bad.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem.
You guys smell something?
And and they and Elowin, the dryad, comes up. I just write that word down so I don't. It's like I randomly blank out on these.
So
I
yeah,
mix
like
those up sometimes.
when they pop out, like Jack like pulls his arrow real quick, and then when he sees him, he like puts it down.
Okay. And
Hi, buddy.
Elowin just looks and sees uh looks behind and sees Gorvin. And she runs up screaming, "No, no, what have you done? Our protector is dead. He's dead. We have no one that can protect us anymore from the impending assault. The Zoriat are coming. It won't be long now." And she's just like hugging his body, like crying. Um, and then Sylvana, who was one of the quieter one of the trio, who didn't do all the creepy flirting and didn't just like cuss and didn't just talk about Lucar being like stinking of Fae and stuff. Sylvana, the more wise one, goes next to you, Jack, up to Seamus. And so she sees your hand like kind of like on his chest, sort of feeling for something, like feeling for some sign of life. And then she puts her hand next to yours and she says, he's he's still alive. I can feel the faintest of heartbeats and breaths.
Is there anything you can do?
We need some kind of a pulse, like an electric type of pulse. A lightning bolt would be too much, but we need something, maybe some sort of energy, maybe concussive. Like it needs to be something that is jolting.
I got a force cannon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna
sure,
like
sure
shoot a
shooting him
guy
is-
with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great
I
idea.
mean, he's already
there.
dead. I don't think shooting him will help.
I might have something. And
Skogar, what you got?
Skogar walks up and he's like, Jack, I need some space. I'm sorry.
All yours. And I step out of the way.
And so he kind of opens up his cloak, and to this dryad, he gingerly hands her this dragon shard.
When
I take it you know maybe what this is?
when you hand it to her, her eyes get wide, and she's just like, she puts the hand that's not on Seamus, she puts onto her chest, and she's like, I haven't seen one of these in so long. A dragon shard.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
and we're gonna like keep it that way though. We're gonna do what needs to be done, but I don't need word of this being spread around.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Do you remember? Do you have written down what kind it was?
Well, I would know that it was used to power, like, you gave a description. It was used to like power some of the electric systems in the
Yes.
city.
Okay. Yeah. So,
And
okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. So she goes, okay. She says, okay, then, uh, you're going to help me. And she kind of guides your hands, right? And like, pretty much just like takes the dragon shard from you, lays it on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes your hand and puts it down on top of it. And then she puts her hand on top of yours and she says, make it, no, make it work. I know you can make it work. You know how to do this.
He thinks to himself, it's like, yes, I've always known, because I am a rock god.
And as you say that, your hands glow with this like kinetic energy, and it's like you can't tell necessarily. An onlooker couldn't tell if it's something coming from your hands or from the dragon shard. And Jack, you're really the only one you're the one that gets the best view of this happening. And you see this kinetic energy as it like makes this dragon shard like come to life and sort of bump a little bit, like almost like bounce or vibrate on his chest as Seamus like gets this jolt, and then all of a sudden like gasps for air as he awakens. And then the dragon shard goes dark. No damage to it, perfectly fine. And she looks at you and she says, Skogar says, thank you.
That was awesome.
And she's like, yeah, put that away. No one needs to know you have this. The less the better.
That's the kind of thing you need, Skogar. I like that. No, good job. I mean, I like to see somebody healing who actually wants to be here.
Yeah.
So about this impending doom coming to the forest, what's that all about?
So you're talking to Silvana, the one that was just there with you? Yeah. She says,
like, I know that, like kind of dropped the ball here on protection, but I guess we're here. We want to try to do our best with what we can. So
she points at Davidian's body and says he's part of this Zoriat. He got through the gate.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's, he was pretty bad news. Not as bad news as some other people, but he was pretty bad news.
She says, yes, but that was, you saw what you dealt with him and his hounds, and that was only one of them. There'll be many more. That's the whole point of what Gorvin did. That's what he did. So he kept these gates from opening.
All right. So what does Lucar need to do to make amends? To make sure that doesn't happen? Sacrifice himself? I mean, I think...
Be fair, he was not doing too well even when we got here. I mean, he was tied up and stuff. Like
breathing. Just let the adults talk.
Well, that's the point, right? None of us are adults. We're just kids. How are we supposed to know?
I'm a grown man. All right.
Elowin stands up because she sees Seamus come to, and she comes over to where you guys are standing, Jack, and she's like, "Yes, he's alive. We need to nurture him and take care of him. We're going to need his help."
There you go.
And then she.
If you need anything from Lucar, just let us know.
And then she looks, and then she turns Lucar and looks at you, and points at you, and she says, "You leave
this grove and leave it now.
Okay, bye.
Never shall you return again.
That's probably best for me.
And she points you away, like just like, off with you, right? And then in from another direction comes these three humanoids that are kind of rushing in, right? Humanoid looking folks. So what you all collectively see is you see a blonde-haired, dark-skinned drow elf in a tunic and a flowing cape trench coat. Then you see a bald, bearded human male. And you see a slender, petite female dragonborn. And they all come up to the general group. And the drow comes up to Elowin. Miss Elowin, is everything okay? What has happened? What's wrong with Gorvin? She says, "Oh, Natak, I'm so glad you're here. We need you and your Arcanix friends to help secure our borders here." She points at all of you guys, and says, "These fools here have potentially endangered all of us, as one of them," and she points at Lucar, "murdered Gorvin."
Hey now.
Murder's a strong
Not
word.
first degree. Not first degree.
Wait.
And she says,
He murdered me too, but
Yeah, man.
we're both like walking around now.
but you don't hear me
It's
complaining about it.
okay.
She says, honestly, you should be thrown in prison. The murderer, and you're no better. You're all accomplices. You just make excuses for him. And then the Dragonborn,
It's not me.
the Dragonborn speaks up. She says, Elowin, is it him? And points at you, Lucar. And Elowin nods. And then she walks over to you, this Dragonborn. "Hello." And she extends her hand to you.
Hello. I extend my little halfling hand.
She's just holding her hand there, like waiting for you to interact with it.
I shake her hand.
Okay, cool. All right.
With my little
you said
tiny
you put your hand, you
halfling
said you
hand.
put your hand out there. Like I'm just envisioning you like
Oh.
holding yours out. Like it's a weird, like just two of you holding your hands out, doing nothing. My name is Shireen, and you are?
Lucar,
Oh, it is nice to meet you.
I wish it was under better circumstances.
I do agree. Well, you wouldn't know. I've turn a phrase. I felt your power in Ondare. Nothing quite like it. I must say.
Thank you.
Do you have a patron by chance?
Someone named Astrid.
Someone guiding you, teaching you?
Guiding and teaching are strong words. I have somebody talking to me named Astrid. Nobody's really teaching me per se. They're
And you
just
say
telling me what
that,
to do.
and then as soon as you say that, the white noise pops in your head, and you hear, "Oh, hey, hold up now, bro. I'd like to think I've been teaching you some life lessons. So like I'm not giving you anything. I mean, I think we're building a pretty good relationship here."
Yeah, but you're not teaching me how to use my powers. You're just telling me
Well,
to
I know.
blow stuff
I
up.
already explained that to you last time. That's on you.
Well,
You're
yeah,
going to
it was
freaking
just-
school for it, man.
Yeah, and I'm way ahead of my classes because you gave me too much power too quick. My teachers don't know what to do with me either.
Hold on now. Hold on. See, there's your first problem. So like our family doesn't believe in such a thing as too much power.
This is our family. I'm a
so
still
I-
shower. I've never heard of you as part of my family. My family knows nothing about you.
Oh man, I swear your memory sometimes. If only there was a way for you to easily remember things that we've talked about in the past. It's like we are family, and the family motto, something along the lines. It's very loose. There's no such thing as too much power.
Yeah, but
You're adopted, bro. We talked about this. You're adopted.
Yeah, but my family would teach me how to do stuff. Like I know how to price items. I know how to check people
Okay.
out, and
Okay.
don't put the soft stuff on the bottom of the bag so it doesn't get squished. Like those are life lessons that like
Okay,
taught me. And
And
now
that's
you're giving me these like fireballs and like the magic missile. I get like that one's cool. Like I don't have to do anything, and it just goes to the right people, and like it automatically hits, and there's no worries. But like the fireball thing, who the hell's supposed to control that? Like 20 feet radius? What does that even mean? That's so much space. I had no idea how much space that is. It seems like a lot, doesn't it?
all right. Okay. All right. I can. It's a lot, and that's
Area
why.
effects?
That's why I'm here. I'm here to talk you through it.
Well,
I'm here to talk you through it.
so help me talking through with this lady because I don't think that they're happy with me because I killed a bunch of people, including
Oh, I
Velma.
can't help you with all of them. That's a lost
Well-
cause, bro. You just
Well,
let that one go.
this Shireen Dragonborn seems sort of cool. She's being nice.
Yeah, I would let this play out. Let this play out. I don't get it. I'm not getting any bad vibes. And then the white noise goes away. And
Talking about the land of chocolate. It was 10 minutes ago.
and she says, okay, so Astrid is your patron. Interesting. So I'm a sorcerer too.
Oh, well, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I'm really a sorcerer yet. Like, I'm going to school still. And like, I mean, would you call somebody an engineer who's in their first year of school? Like, no, they're in training, right? I think I'm sort of like in training to be a sorcerer.
I shouldn't be calling myself a doctor then? Okay.
Not unless you play the drums.
Like we're
So-
out here on a field trip to like get hands-on experience of like forest stuff, and like next thing I know, like we're in a deathly battle against dire wolves and other weird creatures. It's really sort of freaking me out.
I can understand. This
And
is
now this
strange.
lady wants to put me in jail.
This is
I'm
strange.
19 years old. I don't need to go to jail.
This is a strange forest. Well, I think so. I think what's important for you to take ownership of maybe is part of what's gone on is your power caused that.
I understand that, but I can't apologize to a dead person now, right? Like I said, I was sorry to the people who are alive still.
Indeed. There's Elwyn and Gorvin have quite a long history of many years together as close associates, friends. It's very painful for her, and she knows why it happened. So, I mean, to be honest, if she really wanted if she really wanted something truly bad to happen to you, it would have likely already happened. My power comes from my draconic bloodline, and I'm not. How does a patron thing work? How do you? I mean, I'm speaking selfishly here. I understand. You know, she whispers to you. She's like, I understand. You know, dead bodies, close friends, etc. But I really want to know about where you get your power. And then she speaks back up again and says, you know, it's in my blood to have this power that I have. But why for you?
That's a good question, isn't it? Like Astrid has something to do with it. I don't know my whole history because I was adopted. Something weird happened when I was a kid. My parents don't talk about it too much. But I think, you know, like look around at my friends. Like I seem much stronger than them for like as much school as we've been through. Like I'm doing a lot more cool stuff than they are. Despite not getting any guidance from my teachers.
Indeed. I mean, well, you are going to Windshire after all. You could. I'm an of arcanics myself, and as you can see, I hold myself to that high standard. That I am from arcanics. I would think it would be obvious. Maybe that's part of your problem. Is you're going to the wrong school.
Maybe.
Um,
But I've always heard that Windshire rules and Arcanics drools. So, like, I don't know. That's just something that I hear say at the like Blaze Ball games.
Interesting. Well, I guess I will save more of my story for another day. And she hands you she goes to hand you like a card, and it's just like a little note card with like a number code, whatever. We haven't really determined how the smart stones speak to each other, but it's a way for you to be able to put her digits in your smart stone so that you can have a conversation with her. So you've basically gained a point of contact, a coach, if you will, like some additional consult for your magic that you could potentially leverage in weird ways that we have yet to figure out. And then as she hands that to you, it's like the white noise comes back in your head. It's like, all right,
Hold on. At first I was cool with this shit, but now not anymore. Who the fuck does she think she is? Why is she in our business?
I think her name was. I have to look down at the card to remember her name, and then I say,
Shireen.
I say it's her name's Shireen. That's who that was.
Yeah.
She's using you to get to me. Seriously, walk away from this nosy weirdo. We have shit to do. You gotta go finish. You really need to go make sure you've covered apologizing to everybody.
Well, I think that one lady wants me to leave, so I better get out of here before she does something worse to me.
Yeah, that's probably a
Good idea. I would say
just start hoofing it.
the gang will catch up with you. Just tell them you're gonna go.
Yeah, I think it's best for everyone if I just sort of leave now. I really am sorry about what happened. We're in the fog of war, and we're trying to protect the forest, and things got a little out of control. But like, we did our best, and we stopped this guy, which is something we had to do. And it wasn't clear who was going to win this battle, but we did.
That reminds me of one of my favorite Murder Hobo songs, Lucar. You can't apologize to dead people, and you captured it. Like, I could tell you were borrowing from that song, but like, it's awesome.
Oh, Patreon bonus content. You can't. What is it? You can't apologize to dead people.
Yeah, that's what Lucar said to Astrid when he started.
Got it. All right.
Which just sounded like a metal song.
Yeah. If
Like a
these
metal
weren't...
it's like a metal ballad when they bring the house down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Everyone in the thing sort of brings out their torches and are like waving back and forth.
Yeah.
And just for the record, if this was one of those, like, when these get turned into podcasts, if this was one of those where it was like they had episode titles, that would be the title of this episode, would be "You Can't Apologize to Dead People." I just want to say that right now, because that's a great episode title. Okay, yeah. So Lucar just starts to kind of walk away. And unless anybody decides to say anything to Lucar about Lucar leaving, then we're just going to keep moving.
So is
on.
he leaving with the Arcanics kids? What's going on?
No, I'm just going
he's
by
just
myself.
walking off on his own.
Walking away
lady
Bill
said-
Bixby style?
I was thinking more Michael Cera in Arrested Development with the Peanuts song.
Nice. So okay. So then, yeah. So you're walking off. And then
Wait.
Yeah.
It's dangerous
To go alone?
to walk alone out here. Clearly, there's no protector of the glade that's covering it.
Velma, he's the reason.
I think I might be the danger.
The white
Well,
noise
I'm
comes
just
back.
wondering if we ought to, like, it's one hit wonders here. one hit point wonders that we might want to
Take 'em
head
out?
back to Windshire
Oh,
rather than take on another task at right this moment.
we set up some tents here and we let the ladies protect us for the night, and we get some hit points back, right?
So as you say that, sorry, Velma, as you say that, the one called Natak, the drow with the blonde hair, looks at you, Jack, and says, "You don't look very good. Are you sick?"
Yeah, what do you know about that, sir? My friend? My pal?
He looks you up and down, and it's like, it's normally proper tradition for me to shake one's hand, but not to you. Would you maybe consider drinking this first before we interact further? And he holds out a little vial with some liquid in it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know who you are and what this is, but maybe you want to let me know.
Well, it's a quick diagnosing potion, if you will. It's a recent invention, came from the labs in Arcanics. We use for folks to test to see if they've caught the blurring virus.
All right, what do you know about the blurring virus? What is that? Tell me more. Listen, I'm not going to just go drinking anything some random guy from the woods gives me, all right?
We know, understood. We know that it is, it's incredibly dangerous to the changeling community. It has killed many so far. We know that it is just a vicious cold or flu or virus to the non-changeling communities. And it is definitely spreading at a incredibly rapid rate.
All right, but where did it come from?
That is still not something that we know.
And is there any cure for it yet? Are the Arcanic scientists working on something? Do they have something?
I believe they're close, maybe.
Do they need anything?
I don't know a lot about that necessarily. No, I don't believe they need anything. I know just enough. I know just enough about it as I'm part of that. It's an elective for me that I'm part of that study. It's not so much.
All right. So I drink
don't know.
this.
I don't know how to explain it.
I drink this, right? How do we know? Like, is it quick? How is it like, come back in a day? Tell me what I got. What's the results here?
Fairly instantaneous.
Am I going to turn blue or something? I already did that.
No, it's something I can't really tell you how it reveals itself when it works and shows a positive diagnosis.
Then what the hell am I doing it for?
So as we have had,
is it going to kill me if I like? Congratulations, you got the disease. You're dead now.
No, as we have had many that we have determined. This has worked to show us that people that have the virus. We have also found that depending on the individual, when we have told them how it works to show that someone is positive, if they are indeed a changeling and they wish to be self-quarantined, if you will, left to their own devices, left alone, they will fake the condition needed to show that they appear to be positive from drinking the diagnosing potion, if that makes sense. It's a little bit complex. It does not make any
sense. Could you run that by me one more time?
We have found that maybe about half of the changeling community that we have been testing and been working with are lying.
I mean,
and don't really have it, but they do things to change their appearance to make it seem as though they do. So that is why we have stopped explaining what happens what happens to show that you are contagious. We've stopped sharing that part of the information.
So you just give people drinks and some random ass potions, not telling them what it's going to do to them. That's what you do.
It says, Natak looks at you and goes, "Well, just trying to help. You don't have to take it. I'm not making you. It's an offer."
Listen,
wouldn't you like to know?
I don't know. Would you like to know? I mean, what if somebody told you were going to die 6 weeks? Would you want to know that?
I mean, I have had this virus in the past, and
yeah, is it just a cold to you though?
For me, yeah.
So you don't worry about it. It's not for you to think about, is it?
That is correct.
So I mean, you got the virus, la di da. You're not thinking to yourself, man, this thing's gonna kill me. What if would you want to know? Hey, by the way, you're gonna be dead in a month. Would you want to know that? Live it up, or would you like to come? I guess that's the question, isn't it? I guess that's what you got to know, huh?
Well, the very astute, yes, it is a question, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily really apply to me in this situation. But if it's more of an
so
in
you
general,
have no idea. So you're just talking out your ass, then, is what you're telling me.
If it's more of an in general question, then I would say maybe I would like to know if I was going to die in about a month.
Yeah, put your final put effects into place, all that,
He says,
say goodbye to your friends, live life to the fullest kind of thing.
I would have such a fantastic time.
I mean, YOLO, right? YOLO.
I believe, yeah, that's what none of the kids are saying nowadays. But I think,
I mean, Velma just said it earlier today.
As I said, kids.
Grandpa says,
So roll Jack, you're holding your own, but roll the appropriate counter to persuasion with advantage. I give you advantage because you've been holding your own.
The counter, so wisdom, I guess, is what we're going for here.
Typically.
Okay. I rely on the more knowledge.
I guess it'd be insight. Folks. I think would be the.
There you go.
All right, and you said advantage, so that's helpful because I rolled a 1 with the bad stuff.
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull it up. 17 is my number.
You got a 19. That's 17 plus 2. So he's just, it's not, he's not, Natak's not trying to force it down your throat. You can just tell he just wants to be helpful, as much as it's annoying to you, because it is annoying to you.
I mean, everything's annoying to me. That's kind of Jack's MO.
Yes.
As a kids don't say YOLO, and I chugged this stuff in front of him.
Okay, so you drink it and then you swallow it, and then you feel like you get really warm, like you just had like you just slammed a hot toddy or something, right? And you just feel like super warm in your insides for a minute, and then you look like your hands feel a little tingly, and you like hold your arms out and you look, and you can see like all these different like polka dots just show up on your hands, like they just kind of go whoop, and they're different colors, different skin tones, all different shades, right? And then they're there for a minute, they swell and then they disappear, and then the warm feeling goes away, and all the feeling that you felt from drinking this stuff is gone. And Natak says,
like a hot toddy.
yeah, and then
Ooh, yeah. Oh.
Natak, he sees that and he looks at you, and he puts his head down, and he leans in closer to you, and he says, "Would you like help?"
Like what? What do you got? I mean, you're telling me I got it. I got it, is what you're saying. I sense that, but like you're telling me there's no cure yet. There's nothing. I mean, this is it, right?
I didn't say there's nothing.
So what do you got?
I just said I don't know, but your best chance lies in the halls of Arcanics. And I think you should take a moment, go back to your little school, collect the most immediate belongings you need, and then meet me back at Arcanics.
Listen,
that is what I think you should do.
Listen, everything I need is on my person. That school's got nothing for me. All I need is to sleep. I'll meet up with you. I'll be there ASAP.
And he says, "Good idea," and turns and walks away. And then, how do you think Jack visibly is looking after all of this happening?
I mean, he probably steps out, and like Jack has always been, say whatever, do whatever, no real thought, and no real, like he's always just been like, yeah, cool, whatever. But he looks shook, I guess is the best word, and he's like head down, kind of not being annoyed, not just anything. It just looks like he's just got something else on his mind. He just looks like he was told the worst news. So that's what it looks like coming out.
If any, why don't everybody maybe make a perception check, because you're all kind of still tidying up your own odds and ends here, right? So everybody make a perception check and tell me if anybody got a 13 or higher.
Nope.
Well, that makes sense for Azuri, kind of in his own world.
Always looking down, right?
16 for Skogar, and he looks over at Velma and is like, "Is this just me, or is like everybody's kind of spacing out here tonight?"
What Velma, what did you get?
I got a 15.
Okay. What did Lissa get?
12.
Okay, so you didn't see it.
Nope.
And Azuri didn't. What did Lucar get?
I assumed I was walking away.
What did
peanut style?
Roll it. Roll it anyway. Roll it with disadvantage.
You looked over.
I'm still going to pass.
Okay.
Even with disadvantage.
So
you passed it. Okay, so then so you look over your shoulder, Lucar, and you notice Jack looks pretty shook. Skogar, you notice it.
And anyone who passes, like that first instant when he comes out, he looks like that. But then like an actor backstage, he just kind of like takes a breath, and all of a sudden he's like, he looks back, for that split second, he's like back to normal. Like, all right, guys, let's go. What's up now?
Who are you talking to, Jack?
I don't know, man. We're all just like sitting around here, like assessing the damage. Like, what do we have to do now? Like, are you protect this forest, go back home, leave it to the dryads? I don't know, man. I was out here doing talking to this guy who's got nothing good to say, by the way. Never trust Arcanics, like Lucar says, man.
Arcanics.
Shout backwards. Windshire rules. Arcanics rules.
Right? So what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
as Jack says that, Skogar, you feel a weird vibration in your pocket, and you realize it's that forgotten smart stone that you never use, and it's vibrating.
Oh, this tracking device. I gotta get this. I can't be. What is this? He looks down at it.
You look down at it, and it just on the smart stone, it just says low charge.
Yeah. Okay. Done with this, and he hucks his into the. No, he. Yeah, he hucks his into the woods.
Perfect.
Track
And-
that, you big city conspirators.
Azuri, so you just feel like, and you're doing the healing, you helped out Skogar and everything, but you just feel insanely uncomfortable ever since Velma's come back to life. It's completely it's very unsettling to you. And you're not really sure. Like, that's just your vibe, what you're feeling based on what happened to Velma. And then what kind of
Velma, what is that? What is that thing that you have there? The like daggery sword kind of thing that.
Yeah, this dagger, this cute. It's kind of cute, don't you think?
Yeah,
the vampire daddy gave it to me.
The what?
The merchant with the runaway daughter. I call it our adventure, the case of the vampire's kiss. But be that as it may, this was he was like handing out like magic items as well as part of the payment for that successful job. And this seems to be quarry in origin based on the inscriptions.
It really kind of weirds me out, and I think it did something like when you were dead, and
yeah, you guys said all kinds of weird like dark magics. Like I was gonna go over to the library and like look it up because I'm not too happy when a demon prince or a cultist or whatever says you owe me. Kind of freaky. Maybe you could help me out with that since you've been in the library all this time looking at Dream Dark, and you did mention that.
I did. Yeah, I mean, I'm always up to go to the library, so yeah, we should figure out what this thing is because I don't like it very much.
I don't like owing somebody who I don't know. So yeah, let's go do research on this and find out what exactly I got into.
Velma, after you say that, you hear that
voice.
whispery, you hear a whispery voice again, and this time it says, "I will feed soon." Last but certainly not least, in the random extra NPC fun and excitement, the last of the three students, assumingly now because that they're all from Arcanics, the last one comes up, and he's a human. He comes up to you, Lissa, and Sable, and he just kind of like comes up all like, and he like, well, hey, and he puts his hand out to you, Lissa.
She reaches her hand out and says, hello, I'm Alyssa Fernwillow. Would like to have met you under better circumstances, but that's okay.
He says, I'm Coltier the Druid.
Oh, very nice. I'm very interested in Druid. Druids are that is a very cool major.
And when he says that, Sable's like, yeah, Druid, druid stuff. So I do druid stuff. She goes up. She's like, hi, I'm Sable. She sticks her hands out, shakes his hand. She's like, you seem nice. Let's talk. And she grabs his hand and starts walking away with him. She's like, come on, let's go talk to this guy.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure.
And he starts to say, so Sable, right? Yeah, what kind of spells you like throwing? What's your jam? What's your jam? As a druid, like what's your number one? And what would Sable's number one spell choice be?
Going for the throat.
Yeah, primal savagery is so fun because then I get to really get hands-on with it. Just tear their throats out.
Yeah. So she's like primal savagery. I'm gonna become a badass. And then he's like, yeah, I like it. What do you got going on? You're not a druid.
Well, I mean, not completely, but I've got cure wounds that I could maybe use someday if I feel like it. But I got more wizard spells. I love magic missile.
All right.
It's fantastic.
But what's your there's, and he sees, because Big Wing's on your shoulder.
I
right?
mean, what I'm really interested in is mage reading. So I've got Big Wing over here, did a few modifications, and he is sweet.
Oh, damn, that's cool.
Right?
He's like, hey, all right, how about it's like, if you like druid stuff, I think mage breeding is weird and kind of cool. So why don't we let's trade some Smartstone information. We can chat and talk more about this stuff.
Hell yeah.
So he trades info with you, and Sable just is like, oh, I can give you mine too. And Coltier is like, I'll just your friend can give it to me. It's cool. And she's like, kind of, you hear a whisper like, what kind of bullshit is that? And then she's like, and she kind of gives you a little bit of a dirty look, like.
Alyssa just shrugs her shoulders like I don't
what
know.
the hell, what the hell, man? And then she just kind of kicks rocks, and then when you guys are done, she's like, yeah, I hear those are fancy arcanics. Windshire is way cooler than your arcanics, and you guys drool. Did you know that? You freaking drool. And she just stomps off. She's like, Lisa, come on, let's go. Get your ass over here. We're out of here.
Well, it was nice to meet you. I'll talk to you later.
It's like, yeah, I wanna look into doing something to help calm her down.
Oh,
she
she's
seems a little
fine.
stressed out.
Oh no,
stressed out.
No worries.
She's like, I heard that. I'm perfectly fine.
See, you heard her. Totally fine.
And gritting through gritted teeth. And so Lissa now has some druid consult that would
Nice.
come at the cost of some mage breeding consult. So
Okay.
that's your little bonus thing to work with.
Nice.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about what's going to take place. So the general vibe is everybody kind of wants to pretty much leave for different reasons.
Something is very
Yes.
quite some time now, so yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all are getting ready to go and getting ready to head back to Windshire. Seamus says, Lucar, boy, let me talk to you real quick before you guys leave.
Hasn't gone very far, I assume.
No.
You're out of whisper range, though. So, hey, Lucar, come back.
Do you come back to
Now
talk to
what?
him?
Yeah, now what? Been
He
a hard
just
day.
he just
Seamus
looks,
is ready to hear your apology.
he says, did you just say it's been a hard day?
Been a hard day for all of us. I mean,
Did-
especially the ones who are dead.
Did you die and come back?
No.
I did. And then he says, this is really not the way I wanted my tenure to end at school. It's like I was the natural successor for the Eldritch Grove. Your fireball has fast forwarded this process. I need you to go talk to the dean and explain what has taken place here today.
I'll do my best to try to explain it. I'm still not entirely clear what was going on, other than I was a blue slad for a while, and there was a lot of fighting going on. So I will tell things from my perspective as best I can about how I accidentally blew up quite a number of people.
You also became a potted plant. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's an important piece I will not leave out. Get it? Leaf out.
That is
Yes, that might be the root of all the issues there.
that is fine.
Where all
But
our
you-
problems bloom from.
But you also
You really went out on a limb for that one, Lucar.
You also need to tell him what has happened to me, and that I will be back for my things.
Okay.
So we should just leave?
I mean, do you want us to bring them out to you? We can or maybe courier them out.
He
Like,
just
I
shakes
better-
his head no. He just
I
shakes
better
his
not
head
come
no.
back.
He just shakes his head no.
You think
And
you're
then-
gonna have time to come back to the university? Okay.
And then Elowen's by him, and she's looking at you with this stink eye, and Seamus, like, he reaches his hand out to grab your hand, Lucar.
He's extending a branch, Lucar.
Do you
have to sign a piece.
do you take his hand?
Yes. Of course I do.
It's like a more in a handshake way than a and he grips your hand and holds it for a moment, and he just says, and he looks at Elwyn, and he says, and as he says to you, I forgive you.
I appreciate that, Seamus. That means a lot to me. And I am sorry for what has happened to you and what has happened here.
And then he says, but seriously, dude, get the fuck out of here. She's still pissed. And she just kind of exhales through her nose, like to the point where you can hear it. She's just like, and but she doesn't say anything, and she just goes back to tending to Seamus. And
I say to the white, I know the white noise is not in my head, but I'm like, Astrid, wasn't I on my way out of here and he called me back? Like, that was sort of awkward. Like, now I had to get her stink eye again. I was already trying to leave. This is not cool.
Astrid comes in, dear. You hear the white noise. It's like,
Wait, what? Were we saying something? I was.
and it's like their mouth is full. Like
We're saying something.
Never mind.
and then you go,
You killed two people. One of them came back to life and forgave you, man. Just take your losses for what they are.
I mean, I'm hoping that in the long run, Velma came back to life and will forgive me, but
I mean, I don't know if
Working
you
on
can.
it.
If you can call
What's going on over there?
life, then
Sure.
I don't know that we've established.
That yet?
oh, really? I sort of wasn't around for that. That sounds sort of spooky.
Yeah,
It's a weird knife she's got. More on that later.
and then white noise is gone. And you hear
wait. Do I still have to room with her? Should I be worried? Wait.
as all you hear is a fading sound of crunching. Like they're just eating more. and so so everybody, so y'all go back to Windshire.
Well, as we're walking away, Skogar like leans over to Lucar. It's like, you did what has to be done. And as for Seamus, man, like his bark was bigger than his bite. So,
Thank you, Skogar. I appreciate that.
I can't lay off it. I can go another hour with those tree puns if you'd like.
I think just nature puns in general. It's good stuff, right?
Bonus episode for subscribers. Skogar does
an hour of
puns.
Yeah. Arbor humor.
He's got does a bonus type 5 from Skogar. So
yeah, maybe that's just his one shot. It's just him just up there going.
You go back to that open mic.
A stand-up comedian opening for Murder Hobos, Skogar. Skogar stand-up.
Like, what's the deal with dead people in forests? Okay. So you're back at Windshire, and
on the way back, I just want to say, guys, I know that wasn't like the best outcome in Velma. Again, I'm sorry for what happened, but like, there was a decent chance that we could have all died, right? Like, died.
Yeah, I mean, I got knocked out. He got knocked out.
Jack,
or she got knocked out.
I mean, I was fine until a fireball hit me. That's what I know. But if that's what we're going with, I mean, we'll stick with it, Lucar. If that's what we want to do, that will be my first story that I tell people until the pressure starts getting pushed on, and then you're going under the bus. I'm sorry. I feel like at this point in our lives, we should be honest with each other. Like I will go with it.
Honest. We were in a bad shape there for a bit.
Right? I mean,
we absolutely were, Lucar.
I don't think
100% on your side.
From my perspective, no, we were not yet there. But I will go with that first. They asked first
for you to say you were cleaning up my partial kills, like finishing them off.
I was killing a lot of people that you left behind. Yes, that's true. I was making those kills that you, for some reason, couldn't do until you dropped the fireball on everybody. That's true. But I will go with that as a first story. But if they start pressing, it will not be my second story. So, but
it's the true story, is what I'm just saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's the first story we're going with, and with everybody's collaboration on this, they won't ask for that second story. So you're fine, probably. But if they do, that's not my second story. All right. I'm just telling you like it is. At this point in our lives, we've, gone through a semester of schooling. We're all sleeping in basically the same room with that hole in the wall. So, I mean, I think, I'm just being honest with you at this point that's the second story will not be the same as the first story, but I will stick with that first story. I think we're good with that.
Yeah, we're all on the same page.
That's for that first story. Yes, absolutely.
I'm just saying we've all made mistakes. We've all had things go the way that we didn't expect.
I mean that's why pencils have erasers, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
we all fought bravely up front and didn't go running through the woods screaming and screaming.
That's
all
right.
on the same page here.
Yes, we were all very strong.
We did what had to be done.
The enemy was very strong.
We didn't all drop the fireball that basically killed us, our fellow students, our teacher, and the guy we were supposed to protect. We all didn't do that. Right. But you're right. We all have probably done something we want to take back. You're right.
So I think it's clear that Lucar feels bad for what he has done, and I think generally he's been forgiven in some way, shape, or form, or conditionally forgiven. Let's say, because if shit gets hot, then guess what? that all was real and that happened. And
I mean, I'm going to go with everybody's first story here. Okay, I just
right,
want
yeah.
that's for everybody.
Yeah,
That everybody
yeah.
gets that first story.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I give to you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm telling it like it is, I guess is what I'm saying. Everybody gets that first story.
So you guys, you're having these conversations as you get back to Windshire. Who goes where? Velma, I know Velma and Azuri were talking about doing some research or something. So do Velma and Azuri go off on their own? Or they go separately?
I'm really concerned about finding out what it is about this dagger that's got a hold on me.
Okay. And then, what's Azuri? Is Azuri accompanying, or is Azuri doing his own thing? What's his deal?
Oh, we're going to the library. Yeah, Zuri's coming to the library. He's
stoked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's very happy that he wants to go to the library with him.
So his desire for the library outweighs how much the dagger skeeves him out.
I mean, he's going back to campus. He's going to try to learn about the dagger, and it's the library. The library is a safe space. Nothing bad can happen in the library.
Cool. We'll get back to your getting into the library here in a second with that wonderful cliffhanger statement you gave. What does Lissa do?
She wants to check up on Big Wing. Take him back to the room, make sure he's groomed and feeling better, because that near-death experience really scared her, and she's very worried.
So, Jack, you went back did you go back with everybody to Windshire?
I mean, I did go back to Windshire, yes.
Okay. So, you get back to Windshire and you have do we establish you have a smart stone? Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You get a message on yours. Hey, and it's from Dean Branchbreaker.
Okay.
And
I thought I covered that base. Oh man.
And he says I need he says the message says I need to speak with you. Come to my office as soon as possible.
Okay. So we were all like it was really getting intense. We were all on the verge of death. Like we were so close. And Lucar we were on the ropes. You launched that fireball. Okay, all right, that's it. We're all injured. We're all injured. And your smarts, it vibrates again. His eyebrow goes away. Like, oh yeah, like okay, it's singed. Okay, good.
It vibrates again, and you have another message that says, "I need you to," and it's from the dean. I need you to do something for me.
How did Bro get my number, anyways?
It's all in your profiles. So.
This is my burner phone, I thought. Oh, damn it.
I assume you head to the dean's office then?
Yeah, I go to the dean's office and I'm just like repeating that story, and it's getting like more elaborate as things go by. Like, oh man, I was killing all these wolves and, but everybody else is getting beat up and I just barely got, it was basically me and Lucar, and I said, do it, Lucar. And he did it.
So I'm gonna send you.
It was an unfortunate incident that he did it, though. I thought he was just gonna shoot magic missiles, but
I'm gonna send you a quick little blurb, Jack, to read in a PM in Discord.
Okay.
And then I'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay.
So I just sent that to you. All right. And then Lucar, what is Lucar gonna do now that he's come back? When was the last time Lucar ate?
Yeah, not recently enough. But that's an evergreen statement.
Yeah.
So I will stop by it. I'm assuming there's like a commissary where I can pick up food and not have to like sit down and eat.
Yeah.
And grab something and go over to the dean's secretary and see if I can make an appointment to see the dean at his convenience.
Um, the secretary says, well, he's actually available right now. If you'd like to speak with him
I would have thought he'd be
briefly.
much more busy than that, but I guess sure. I mean, if he's got time for a freshman, that's fantastic.
It ebbs and flows. And says, please go in.
Hey, hello, Dean. I wasn't expecting that you could see me so soon. Like,
Oh,
again, you're the dean of a major university. I would have thought like you having time for a student.
oh, Luke, it's so good. It's so good to see you.
I mean,
I must say, major school. Thank you for the compliment, but
I mean,
we
that's
do
I was told by my parents. Maybe.
we do struggle to compete with Arcanics at times. They're far more established than us, and our methods are rather unconventional, as I can tell by the look of your current condition of clothing. What's happened to you?
Well, I went through a weird interdimensional portal. We were on a field trip in the woods. I went through an interdimensional portal. I turned into a slat at some point. Somehow I also turned into a potted plant. Sort of ironic, right? Your name's Branch Breaker, and I was a plant. And now I'm here. And long story short, I don't think Professor Seamus is coming back. He said he'd be back for his things pretty soon.
What?
I think he realizes.
Why is that?
I think he realizes that the field trip we went on was maybe not the greatest idea. We were just sort of out there, sort of supposed to be exploring, and next thing we know, we're in a life or death battle, and the Guardian of the Woods was killed as a result of maybe my fireball that was accidentally trying to turn the tide of the battle. And now
his eyes get bigger and bigger as you're saying this shit to him, like he's just like.
And then
leaning
Seamus
back in
became
his
the
chair.
Guardian of the Forest. Arcanics tried to like maybe make me a student there and try to, I think they're trying to headhunt me. I think maybe they think I'm a pretty good student, but I'm Windshire through and through. Am I right? Like Arcanics drools, Windshire rules. Am I right, Dean? And yeah, like it was really tough. Skogar almost died. Jack held his own. He didn't almost die. Lissa almost died. Velma, I mean, Velma's alive now, so there's that. She and Azuri are doing some research, but like all your students, and really, from what I've heard, when you told my parents, like the safety of the students is the most important thing, and we're all safe, which is really what's important.
Part of our motto is students first, after all. That was a rather large brain dump you just did to me there, son.
Well, there's there's a way that you can catch up on all the events. Like it doesn't cost that much a month. I mean, you could get them for free, but we really appreciate like you could hear the whole story. Like we're making sure that all these adventures are out there, because I think it's important to have a clear and accurate record of what happened.
Indeed, I would agree. So I think it is in everyone's best interests if we just don't discuss what you were the cause of.
I mean, what happens in the Enchanted Forest stays in the Enchanted Forest. Am I right?
And then the white noise comes back in your brain. It's like, hell yeah, I like this dude. This guy.
He rules, right?
This is the principal. What do you call him?
Dean, I guess. Like
Dean?
I'm really not clear on academic terms.
Okay. All right, you go, Dean. Yeah, I like this guy. This is good. No, this is good for you. This is just. Yeah, this is good for you.
I mean, I just told the truth, right? Am I right, Ash?
You did. You did it. You did a good job. I'm sure that's why you didn't feel any additional challenges from telling the truth, because you told it so well. You weaved a mighty fine web. one might say
Say there was no need to roll the dice on and take any chances because you really nailed it.
I'm proud of you. And then the white noise goes away. Um, and the dean then proceeds to, tell you so. So I think that you should probably stick around for summer school. If
Well,
if,
what
if
what would I be doing this summer? Because like I find like I think I need like a little bit of more intense sorcery tutoring.
if we want to forget about this in its entirety, you need to stay for summer school.
I mean,
It
I
is
think I can.
it's in your best interests.
I think I can arrange that with my parents. They seem to have the store under control, so yeah, sure. I'd love to learn some more. Maybe I can get out of here a little bit early, graduate
It won't be
early.
it won't be a full course load for the summer. It'll be very focused.
Nice.
Um, and
We
he
do
gives
some
you
area effect spell training, maybe.
on day one, and he gives you a fist bump and tosses you a piece of fish jerky and says, "You look a little bit tepid. Have this snack on your way back to your room." And then
Thanks, Steve. Can I maybe make a recommendation that we open up another food hall? Like walking from my dorm all the way to the one we've got, like we need one in between, maybe.
interesting. I will take that into consideration. First, let's control your chaotic magic one step at a time. And then as you walk out, like you see you happen to pass by Jack, who seems to be walking in the opposite direction. Towards the dean.
Yeah, and Jack is actually like putting on his Windshire scarf and putting his hood up.
Jack, story number one.
Yeah, okay, Luca. Yeah, story number one. We were all on the ropes, right? And like I was trying. I almost killed them all, but I couldn't do them all. And I reluctantly went to you because I thought like you were the only one left, and you said you had something for me, and it happened to be that fireball.
Fell to the dean.
Gotcha. No, I mean if he's in, he's in, right? We don't have to worry about it then. Let's go. And then I head towards the dean.
Yeah. So you hit the receptionist's office and she's like, "Oh, I was wondering when you'd be coming."
Well, yeah, I mean, I just got the Smart Stone message.
He told me he was reaching out to you and it was urgent, so he's available. His last appointment just left.
Lucar, oh yeah.
She said, "Please feel free, go right in."
All right, I head in.
Says, "Jack, are you feeling okay?"
No, Dean, I'm not feeling well. It's been a rough day. I think maybe Lucar told you some of the story, but I got a lot of other personal stuff going on too.
I understand. I was hoping I could. I know you don't speak of this much, but I really thought I could leverage your charisma and roguish skills, if you will, to look into something for me.
I mean, extra credit, I guess. Yeah, Dean, I'm down for that.
He says, I want you to go to Arcanics, and I want you to find evidence, as there's potentially they are keeping a what they're calling a patient zero in their underground labs.
So it was from them. They do know something, don't they? I think I know what you're talking about, Dean. I think I know.
That's what I need you to find out.
Dean, I gotta say, I did not know we were going to be on the same page about this. I gotta be honest with you. But we are absolutely on the same page, Dean. You tell me what you need.
The dean just says, I have many plans for you, my boy. This is merely the start.
Okay, let's not carried away. I got my own plans as well. All right, Blazeball only goes so far. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. You have far more skills to offer than just a good Blazeball player.
Dean, I didn't know you were secretly the head of my school, but I'm loving this. I'm loving this, Dean. Really, I'm feeling new kind of respect here, and I think we can make a great partnership, and I will definitely I will head to Arcanics first thing.
And he says, and it's good that you're covering your face. Although I would say because Dean has seen you just like more in general out in public, not seen you in regards to when you've like used disguise kits and whatnot to look different, right? So Dean just says, thankfully you're protecting your face. Hopefully that will keep you from catching the virus. It's quite hell on those of us that aren't of the changeling persuasion. He kind of need good, well, points to both of you. And he says, I don't mean to be offensive, but I believe I've seen the ears. Is Elven, yeah.
Yeah, I mean sometimes, sure.
And he says, yes, it's awful for those changelings. That's why I'm sending you. I need to know if this patient zero is real, and I need to know if it's of their doing or they're legitimately trying to help. Because if it's of their doing, then it needs to be exposed.
I mean, absolutely. I think whatever this disease is and whoever it's affecting, I mean, it goes from, you say changelings, but it jumps to race to race, species to species. You never know where it's going to go, right? The more people know, the better, I think.
So go gather and report back.
All right, Dean.
And do be safe.
I will, caution is another name that I use.
Indeed. So that's where Jack's story will end for the time being.
Yes, it's behind a paywall, by the way, if you want to get
yeah. And then let's go back to Azuri and Velma. So you guys are you walk into the library, you walk into the main entryway. And Azuri, you see on a bench that's over near some bookshelves, just a little bit off to the side from the main desk where one of the main librarians is. As I wasn't fully prepared for this, I don't have a name ready to go of one of the past people that you always interacted with, but we'll say it's one of them. So they like, oh, Azuri, haven't seen you in a while. You haven't need to get any books, huh?
I got one of those cool new like e-things, and I've been reading all the like really latest releases on them. It's it's really cool. I kind of wish I was reading now, but I'm here with Velma, and then I'll probably read after.
Why would those things are going to be the downfall of libraries and bookstores? Why would you do that?
Well, I'll be. Don't worry. I'll be here. It's the shiny new thing. You know. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'll be here.
Okay. And as you say that, a voice that you recognize, from off to the side by these benches, speaks and says, yeah, E, that seems pretty convincing. You wouldn't just desert your precious books like that, would you? Like you would maybe desert a person. And you look and you see a figure in a gray robe, and a hood up. And as they pull down their hood, who do you think you see before you?
I have a feeling this is going to go ahead and be Jace.
Yes, you see Jace, the Dust Cleric, who you were sure and thought was dead, is standing in this library looking at you. And then as he says the weird, like, off-color joke at the end, he walks up to you and he just gives you a big hug. And that's where we're gonna pause you. We're gonna leave you there. And Velma, you're just like,
Boy,
you're
this
just
is
like,
so awkward.
it's like you're getting your camera out. You're like, oh, I gotta capture this shit. This is crazy. And then, last but certainly not least, let's go over to good old Skogar for a moment. And we're gonna, because everybody's, I'm trying to end everybody in a different, unique little spot here. And so I think with Skogar, we're gonna fast forward you a little bit, because we're gonna say it's the end of the first school year. We fast forwarded past everybody else's little whatever they're doing, and everybody's kind of like back together in some regards and saying, oh, hey, just, you'll see you next year, oh, we'll all be in our own house, we'll all be in our own class houses, and we'll only see each other for like 1 or 2 classes a semester, but we'll still be in contact, we'll stay in touch, et cetera, et cetera. And Skogar, you're like, yeah, I'm about to go back to the, I believe it's what the Shadow Reaches, I think. About to go back home and work on some maps a little bit. And you pack up the shit you came with, and you head outside to just go grab a lightning rail to get you most of the way there. And as you go outside, you see there's a coach out there waiting for you, and a head sticks out of the coach and like,
Hey, Pop.
son, come on, let me take you home.
He just says, yeah, okay. But I gotta hang some posters first. You can give me a hand.
And he gets out and starts helping you, and that's where we're gonna
And
end.
they say start of the new year carnival. Or yeah.
Nice.
He's
Nice.
posting them.
Nice. Wonderful. So yeah, your dad's like, oh, nice posters. Nice posters. Skogie, you make these?
Yeah, you missed a spot there, little glue. Yeah.
He's like, oh, sorry, son, sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, here's your gold back, by the way, and he gives you the sack of gold you threw at him disrespectfully, and he just kind of, your dad's just letting you be you and work through your shit. Let's talk a little more details when we get home, okay?
What's for dinner?
Whatever your mom, whatever you want your mother to make, boy.
All right.
And yeah, so that is the end of year 1 of Windshire University. Yay! Clap.
None of us died.
Insert applause
Forever.
effect. So, yeah. So the upcoming character one shots that we will be peppering in over the upcoming, making sure everybody gets one. So we've got field trip patient 0 is going to be Jack. We have the odd couple, which is going to be Lucar. We have Velma's big break. We've got doctor visit for Azuri. We've got maps for Skogar. And we've got summer break for Alyssa and Sable.
Yay!
Because Alyssa gets 2 because she had a traumatic, life-changing event. She got
Don't worry, everyone will get their traumatic experience. I'm sure.
Yes, indeed.
Velma might have already had hers.
Yeah.
Right. So this was this was a great session. Everybody seemed to have a lot of fun. There's a lot of hard role playing to go back and forth with everybody. So I think everybody did awesome. I think that was a pretty good first year. There's a lot more crazy shit coming up. What level are you guys currently?
I think we're 4.
4.
We want to be the next level, right?
I think we should be 5.
I think we're 4.
Oh, don't go out on a limb there.
Yes, 4.
So
The tree puns.
so everybody but Lucar levels up.
Wait, I don't get to be level 5?
No,
Yeah, he killed more things.
you don't get to be level
You got
5.
so much Switzerland to go to.
Get negative experience for every innocent death.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Team
I mean, you would
kills
think
count
killing a
against
teacher would be
experience.
like a lot of experience points for killing a teacher.
Their challenge rating was probably
Yeah.
pretty high.
Yeah, right. And you say like, Lucar, like, you're just saying goodbye to everybody, and everybody realizes that you're staying for summer school, and they're kind of like, what the hell's going on? So
Quick question for the one shot: should I be at my current level, or should I go ahead and level myself up for the one shot?
level up for the one shot. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's everybody. So then next Thursday it will be Jack's one shot. So I'll send a message out about that when we get closer. I guess we're gonna do some Alien, right?
Yes.
Sean's like,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys remember that?
If that changes, just let us all know. It's all good.
Tell us
Yeah.
immediately.
Who has not seen Alien?
Me.
What?
I mean, I've seen like maybe one movie, I think, in its entirety.
I know,
I haven't
right?
seen all of them.
The
by any
original,
means.
though, right? The original is
Yeah.
such a good movie.
So you guys got.
Should I watch Alien before next week?
No.
Watch it.
In fact, I actually think Alien would be better if like you didn't tell people like what Alien was, and then you just say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're just gonna play like
a sci-fi
Dungeons
space
and
game.
Dragons in space," and then it becomes Alien. Like that'd be the best.
Yeah.
Just think like hopeless despair, deep space.
Nice.
Like there is no escape.
Gotcha.
You're giving too much away.
No, I know, but like that's the attitude
That's
of
the
the whole
vibe.
universe. Yeah.
Nice.
Got it.
There's no escaping here.
Trope.
Yeah.
but in space. That's what
Yeah,
it
I'll
is.
try to
Awesome.
send some stuff out this weekend in preparation before Wednesday.
Sounds good. Well, thanks everybody. Awesome job. Level up your shit, Lucar. You don't. Something different. Something different is going to happen. You're going to have a different thing going on anyway. So, plus, I mean, you're not graduating Windshire at like level 20. That's not happening. Let's be real. So, we're beefing you up a little bit early. Yeah, right. It'll be over by then. We won't even get. Yeah,
It's not the scholar.
I'll drop out of school.
I mean, by that time, I'll have killed off most of the faculty.
One a year, baby. One a year.
It'll be like one of those dystopian, shitty like stories where the kids rule the world or whatever, right? Like all the adults are dead.
There we go.
Anyway, yeah. So thanks everybody. Awesome.
Cool. Have a good night.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Have a
See
good
ya.
night.
Wow. There is so much to unpack here. For starters, Jace the Dust Cleric is alive? How is Azuri going to handle this? Jack has the blurring virus. What will he learn from going to Arcanics? Will he find Patient Zero? Looks like Lissa might have an adventure with Sable and Bigwing. What sort of trouble will they get into? Skogar got back with his dad. What is going on with this welcome back carnival? Looks like Lucar is going to summer school. I hope he learns how to cast Fireball correctly. And Velma, poor sweet Velma, just came back to life and has a dagger talking to her. I'm sure that'll be fine. Some of these questions and many more will be answered in either some character one-shots or when we come back in a few weeks to start Year 2 at Windshire University. We're going on a brief hiatus and we'll be exploring a new RPG system for a couple of weeks. As always, thanks for listening to Eberron Adventures, brought to you by the Wednesday Night Crew. If you would like to support this podcast, please do so by going to patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. And for a mere $3 a month, you can get a shout out, just like our very first Patreon supporter, Jonathan Boyd. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate the donation and your support. Once again, that is patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. See you next week.